Chapter 4. Sorry it took a while. Summary. Steve comes closer to Peggy, and Hodge doesn't like it. Therefore, he hires an assassin to take out Steve and Beckett. How will they cope with the situation? Steve was instantly surprised by the turn of events. So Charles planned all this. He knew she was allergic to azaleas. He knew Hodge would take advantage of the situation. And he knew this was going to happen. Steve saw Charles coming back after he left for a while. He looked at him. Charles, you knew this. You planned this behind my back. Dude, I thought we were friends. And now the woman I love has a serious allergic reaction, Steve said. Charles took something out of his pocket. Don't worry about it, Steve. I have everything under control, he says, and gives him a small bottle with white cream. This will help cure the allergic reaction. Give it to her, he says, and gives the bottle to Steve. Still a little bit unsure what to do. Steve walked silently towards Peggy. Agent Carter, he asked. Yes, Rogers, she says. She has such a sweet voice, Steve thinks. He holds out the bottle. I have here a special cream that can cure the allergic reaction you're having. Maybe you would like to use it? He asks calmly. Yes, sure, thanks. But would you mind putting it on my face? She says. Steve shakes his head and opens the bottle. He picks up the white cream with his hands and slowly puts it on her swollen cheek. Steve couldn't believe how soft her cheeks were. Even when swollen, they felt nice. He also placed the cream on a part of her chin and on her other cheek. Thanks, she says, and Steve smiles. As another thanks, she comes closer and gives him a kiss on the cheek before walking away. Steve blushes. He looks around to Charles, who gives him the thumbs up. With Hodge. Hodge was not happy. How dared that short wimp try to steal his next target? He didn't care about love and all that junk. He only wanted Carter out of lust. He could have admired her hot body last night if Rogers and Beckett hadn't interfered. But that wouldn't happen next time. He made sure of that. He silently walked to the back of a barracks and stood still. You're alone, someone asks. Hodge nods. A man comes out of the shadows. It's a tall man with short black hair, a goatee, and a small, tanned skin. He has a giant belt around his body with knives, guns, and even a whip. Mind introducing yourself one more time? Hodge asks. The man grins. Well, I'm Dustin the Hunter, and I come here because of a favor for you. What is it? He asks angrily. Hodge grins a little. Well, two people are trying to take away my chances at a hot new victim, and I want you to eliminate the problem, Hodge tells. Dustin smiles devious. Sure I will, under one condition. Hodge sighs and asks what? I also gotta go with that lovely woman, he says. Hodge thinks for a while. Deal, he says, and the two shook hands. With Steve and Beckett. Steve was sitting in the barracks. His cheek was still burning from the kiss he received. Charles got back with a cup of tea in his hand, which he gave to Steve. Well, at least you received a kiss on the cheek. I guess that's the beginning, Charles says. Steve looks at him. Yes, you're right. But I'm still a little bit afraid of what Hodge will do if he gets her before me. If it truly is that horrible as you told, then Peggy would never want to look at me again, Steve says. Beckett shakes his head. That's not true, Steve. You're a good man, and you mean the best for her. The one thing that makes you and Hodge different is control, he tells. What do you mean? Steve asks, confused. Well, Steve, you and Hodge have different feelings about Peggy. Your feelings are out of love. since you truly like her and want to be with her. Hodge, his feelings are about lust, and all he can think about how hard he could bang her. If you know what I mean. Charles tells. Steve nods. Good. So you see what makes you different from one another is that you love, and he just lusts for her, Charles says. Steve looks at his tea. I'm still not sure what do, Charles. I mean, must I make a move, or do I have to wait until she finally notices me? Steve asks. By the time she notices you, we'll have trouble. Hodge is gonna try extra hard now that he know we are on to him. So keep that in mind. Charles says, and Steve nods. Then Agent Carter walks in.
Excuse me, Steve Rogers?
She asks. Steve looks up at her and says yes.
I like to speak to you tonight. In private.
She tells. Steve looks confused but manages to say all right.
Good. My cabin tonight. Don't forget.
With those words, she leaves the barracks. Charles looks at Steve. What am I supposed to do tonight? Steve asks. Don't worry. Charles reassures him. It will be all right, don't worry. Steve hoped it was going to be all right. So I know it's short, but I didn't have much time. The next chapter will maybe be a lemon, but I'm not quite sure of it yet. What do all of you think? Should the next chapter be a small lemon? Tell me what you think of idea. Until the next chapter, and greetings from Lord Shockwave.